Hello,
Hey, hi.
welcome to the Gal Matrix, Gwen.
Thank you.
I'm very glad you're here. And today, you and me are going to talk about the concept of game changers. And what I mean by that is people in your life who, for whatever reason, and that's kind of what I'm curious about, what is it that gets certain people to make us be brave, to make us willing to take risks and to go outside our comfort zones. And I was thinking about it when I was getting ready to get on with you. And you actually, when I think about the last 6 years of my life, you are the game changer
Mhm.
for me.
Thank you.
Does that surprise you?
Yes. And it feels like, oh my gosh, that's a lot.
I know. And I'll tell you why. Okay, so for people who haven't seen um, our other podcast, Instigating Women, um, Gwen and I met when we were going through the Hudson School of Coaching, and we ended up in each other's small learning group.
Back
And
in
we,
2020.
God, can you believe that? Okay, so I guess it's 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know time anymore.
It's
Ever
okay.
since the pandemic, like I
Yeah,
don't,
5 years. It's crazy.
it's nuts. But I don't know exactly what it was. I just immediately was drawn to you.
Yeah,
And
likewise.
yeah, I don't know. I felt like I'd known you forever and stuff.
Mhm.
And so there was something about, I think it's a little bit, it's like the sparkle in your eye. Like you kind of have, you have this like little like devious, playful sparkle. And I remember we were actually supposed to be practicing coaching, and you texted me, "Hey, you want to do a podcast?" I don't watch podcasts. I don't, or listen to them, but I just said yes.
hmm hmm Yeah,
Yeah, it's
did.
funny.
Even though life was a mess, your family was all a swirl, all kinds of stuff. We were just starting a program that was very intense
Mhm.
to learn this professional way to coach people. You still said yes.
It did. And I never watched a single episode because I knew that if I did, I would start, second guessing myself and critiquing myself. And that's the whole point of the Gal Matrix is to embrace the value of our imperfection.
Yeah,
And I think
which
that's
which we have
simple.
been imperfect.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what it is that you have accepted me so wholly and so completely from the jump that you made me be more radically accepting of myself.
Mm, thank you.
It's true. It's true. I think part of what makes somebody a game changer is that they both kind of push you or encourage you to believe in yourself, but they're also somebody that you just feel totally accepted by when you're together. Like, remember when we met in person for the first time? It was like we'd already known each other for over a year or maybe even 2 years. And then we met in Arizona.
hmm
We had the best time.
Yeah, it's like we'd known each other forever.
Yeah. Do you
Yeah,
remember?
and then I was a little nervous, like, oh my gosh, I'm going out to spend a weekend with this woman I've never even met in person. What if we see each other and it's just like this weird, but there was none of that.
Oh, you even saved me from the scorpion that was in my bed.
Yeah,
Oh my God, that was so flippin' crazy. Do you remember?
I do. And
I
yeah, it
was
was serious.
I was freaking out, and you like went and got champagne. You're like, okay, this is a situation calls for champagne at 10 in the morning.
We have survived a scorpion. You know, what else is there in life?
Honestly. And it was such a time of chaos and so much change for both of us too, like in our personal lives and having kids that are leaving home and having to kind of reinvent ourselves. Like I feel like that's kind of what we've done together.
Yeah,
We have
yeah.
reinvented ourselves.
Agree. Agree. Well, let me put it back to you. So you're one of those game changers for me because I'd been wrapped up forever and ever in being a leader, becoming an executive, doing this career ladder claiming stuff, succeeding, achieving, blah, blah, blah. And I was known as a caring leader and an effective leader, but I only let the fun stuff come out every now and then, like dribble out when it was safe, which wasn't very often. Um, And when I met you, I was like, oh my God, Liz is so freaking fun. I can use the F word around her. I can I can be my whole authentic self. I can be goofy on some video that we post out there for the whole world to see. I will never forget the goat yoga episode.
Oh my God, I forgot that we did goat yoga
We did goat yoga
with stuffed
with
goat.
stuffed goats on our backs just because.
That is insane. That is insane.
So, yes, the twinkle in my eye is how do we get past the surface with people to really get to play and have fun and be human and goofy and imperfect and I need that. Otherwise, I get very formal and very strict and very outcomes motivated and very planned and a quick pace. I need people in my life to go, hold up. And it's okay to play and be goofy and weird and not normal, to be an outlier. Um, but have knowing people like that to be with them on a regular basis, give me the confidence to kind of stand out there alone and apart from most who are trying to fit the mold. Maybe I'm just tired. Maybe I'm just tired of trying to fit the mold.
I this is making me a little bit teary because I'm realizing that part of what it was for the two of us was the timing
Mhm.
of you were coming out of being a healthcare executive, right, for years in the Midwest patriarchal, right, like
Mhm.
white male religious culture, right? Like really,
Yep.
buttoned up. And I
Button
was
up.
coming buttoned up, yeah. And I was coming out of 27 years of being in HR,
Yeah.
where you are the you are the standard bearer, right? Like
Mhm.
I loved being in HR, don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
and yet there was something that was really incongruent with my naturally inappropriate personality. And so coming out of that and having somebody who that's the part that gets me teary. It's like I think that's what made me feel courage to do all the things we did, like becoming well-being coaches, right?
Yeah.
Like all the certifications we got.
Yes.
And now
Really
you're an intimacy
expanding.
coach.
Yes. And I'm not wearing buttons. I'm not freaking out about putting on the collared shirt or the suit coat or what might someone say that I'm wearing this today? Whatever. It's my life.
Are you wearing one of your sexy skirts right now?
No, I'm not.
Love those. Remember, I bought like five of them after we were in Arizona together.
I forgot about that, but I'm working back toward the sexy skirts. I just have to lose a little weight first, but that's, always part of my list.
Seriously, can we talk about that for a second? Like,
Sure.
I might be the only person on the planet who can take those drugs. I'm on like the compound, not on the Ozempic, and not only not lose weight, but gain weight. What the actual F?
Well, Liz, what I've learned is it gets back to you've got to do whatever's right for you, and what works for most may not work for you. I gained a lot of weight from 2020 to now because we went through the health and well-being coaching and we learned about how vegan is the right way to go and
Mm-hmm.
vegetarian and plant-based and so I've tried all that. I went a year without drinking any alcohol at all
I
because
remember.
I thought, well, that's the issue. Not that I was an alcoholic, but I thought, well, those are calorie, I and am now back to what works for me as a midlife woman with hormones raging or not, is keto. I've got to get back to keto. It worked for me before. What works in the literature and the meta-analysis for most of the world that is studied still may not be the thing that works for me. And so I am starting to lose weight again, and that gives me the energy to exercise more and all the things. Um, but yeah, it's just having that courage to say, okay, God damn it, I've tried everything that's supposed to be the thing. You're trying the compounding version of the drug. It may not be your thing. That's okay to experiment. That's what I classified all of my little phases of this is I'm experimenting with this, I'm trialing this, and now after 5 years, I'm going back.
That is exactly, just to bring it back to that idea of game changer, that is exactly what has cultivated bravery in me is us constantly having this conversation about things can be an experiment. We do not have to fit into some perfect construct, right, of what
Right.
it means to be a woman or a mom or a wife or what an executive. And yeah, I mean, I have this book, Your Body is Not an Apology Workbook, which has been really, really good for me because I have struggled with my um, self, just self-esteem around my body my whole time, my whole life. Um, and so for me right now, it's not about being skinny or like fitting into
Yeah.
a sexy skirt. It's that literally I just went to the doctor and he was like, well, you have mildly high cholesterol, you have mildly high blood pressure, you need to like, and how can I help other people
Mhm.
find their well-being if I'm not prioritizing mine? So
Mhm.
anyway, back to being the game changer. I cannot even picture what is going to be coming next for the two of us, but I'm like, so I'm just sign me up.
Mhm. Me too. And other game changers in my life are my core family. Love my kids, love my husband. And Mike has a great way of when I'm talking about, well, I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking about that, I'm scared to try it, of just giving me that confidence to say, I trust you. We've gotten this far. always worked before. It may not have worked perfectly or in the time that we had hoped it would, but it's always worked. I had a motivational quote pop up on my computer earlier today, and it said something like, "Don't forget that what you have right now, whatever it is what previously or years before you prayed for." And it's like, oh my gosh. So even though right here, right now doesn't feel perfect, maybe when I wake up in the morning, I did pray to get to the point where Mike and I were back in the Midwest and had time together to work on a relationship and raise the three kids and got them off and going so that I had time to really think about what might be next and next and next. And yeah, here we are.
We love that. Okay, I'm going to leave you with a quote that is exactly like how you make me feel. Sure. Hold on. I was doom scrolling um before we were, where is it? It's not coming up. It's I Googled meat jacket, but that's not the right thing. It's like fear nothing. Hold on. I
Okay.
swear to God, it's worth it. I found it.
Aha.
Okay, here we go. You're a ghost driving a meat-coated skeleton made from stardust, riding a rock, hurtling through space. Fear nothing.
Yeah.
That's how you've made me feel the last 5 years.
Oh, you're
Well,
just,
that and losing Rita.
yeah. Yeah.
I love you.
I love you too. And you make me feel all the same ways. And yeah, I need this relationship.
Wonder what certification we're gonna get next.
Mm, it's going to be something really instigating and really exciting. Um, I'm personally going to graduate myself from executive coach to life coach. I am giving myself permission to understand that all of me is life, and I'm all all of my experiences are worthy of coaching people holistically.
Mhm.
I think I used the executive thing as a crutch to
Mhm.
give myself credibility, to have people to want to follow me or connect with me. And it's a little intimidating and scary to say I'm shifting, but I'm not really shifting, I'm expanding.
Yeah, yeah. No, me too. It absolutely has felt like an evolution. Especially after I became a death doula,
Hmm.
I realized that what I specialize in isn't executive coaching, it's transitions,
Yes.
transition coaching.
Yes. Yes. And then that got you to the yoga. Here we are back to yoga. Um, that yes, and doesn't all that bring you joy and doesn't that kind of showing up in the world, I won't even say coaching, doesn't that kind of showing up in the world give you energy
100%.
and courage? You get the courage from that energy boost.
That's so true. That's so true. It makes me think about um, the fact that I teach seniors yoga, right?
Mhm.
Like I don't even teach, we do it. I don't feel like a teacher, right? But that all was born out of being encouraged to push myself in different directions by you and then losing Rita. And that I have this quote right in front of me Sometimes it feels unsafe to be alive without, of course, I have a child calling me, to be alive without her, but nothing stays the same. Am I willing to look and walk forward despite that reality? And I
Mhm.
think that really comes down to what a game changer is for me. It's somebody that makes me feel capable of doing that.
And maybe it's also you've seen somebody that looks like you, not looks like you, has been through your experiences. So for those who are watching this podcast, Rita is Liz's mom who passed. I lost my mom when I was 35. So that was a connection. You were able to see that, yes, I went through that a long time ago, almost 20 years ago now, and yet still was able to move forward and build a family and build a career. And
You are that you are so strong. Like that made you so tough. Like I recently watched you having to do hard things and good Lord, I think losing your mom when you did made you so just gritty. You have so much grit. You would never know it looking at you in your fancy little shawl with your sexy skirts, but like, don't F with Gwen, world.
so I hope that that inspires you to keep moving past Rita, knowing you never lose Rita. She's there. You are tethered forever and ever.
You're right. I do feel that. I do feel that all the time. In
And we are
fact,
tethered forever and ever because we have that and so much more in common.
so
And
true.
because we like to use the F word and be a little sassy and sexy and try new things and get our groove on.
Make our
Yeah,
hair blonde.
highlight our hair. Yeah. Yes.
All right, well, you're coming back again many times to the Gal Matrix.
I am honored to be part of this. I am so proud of you for doing this, and I will listen to your episodes.
Yeah, you should listen to the one with Ian. It's pretty, we made him very uncomfortable in the Gal Matrix.
Good. Can't wait. Love you.
All right.
I love you.
Mwah.
Mwah.
I have to stop the recording.